what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm back here at Crown Eurocars in St. Pete, Florida, and guess what? I have that one high-performance sports car that still has people talking. It's this car right here. This is a 2023 Chevrolet Corvette Z06. This being a drop top, and it's the top trim, the 3LZ. But before we get into this high-revving, high-screaming V8 powered Corvette, let's talk about what's going on here. Z06. Believe it or not, there's really no special reason why it's called Z06. It's not like they sat around the table at a Chevrolet dinner party and they said, you know what? We need a new high performance trim, and somebody's like, let's call it a Z06. No. Originally back in 1963 is when the first Z06 was ever built. That was the option code. So if you wanted a race-prepped Z06 from the factory, a race-prepped Stingray Corvette, 63, remember, is also the first year of the Stingray Corvette, and 63 was, if you get a coupe, the only year that they had the split window. The option code was called Z06. Now, for years, Z06 disappeared from the Chevrolet option list. And then guess what? The fifth generation, it came back in a big way to really usher in some new performance. Now, with the C8 Z06, the big difference between this Corvette compared to any other one is that this one is a high revving V8. No push rods. You got your over the head cams, quad cam setup, and this thing screams at more than 8,000 RPM. Much different from the rest of the Corvettes. The only other Corvette that would be close to this would be a C4 ZR1, which was 1990 to 1995. That vehicle had a quad cam. It was actually the first Corvette that didn't have push rods and would rev up to 7,500 RPM, which was pretty darn good back in 1990 when it first appeared. But you know what? We got a new model coming for the C8. Who is it? It's the return of the ZR1, Zora's Racer. So what I want to find out is, should you go big or go home, as they say, and wait for the ZR1? Or is a Z06 plenty good enough? And when you look at the price difference, are you just getting more bang for your buck when you go Z06 over a new ZR1? Why don't we go ahead? Let's dive in our Amplify Orange. It's not Sebring Orange. I'm a little sad about that. It's called Amplify Orange Z06 and find out. Right off the bat, the styling. You're gonna have more aggression in the style of the ZR1. Well, I should say the Z06, just like the ZR1. So what that means is extra width. You got an extra 3 inches of width. If only it was that easy to get that kind of extra width. But when you go Z06, it is that easy because you're getting that extra wide body. Now what's fascinating is that this whole corner here is going to be very similar to the ZR1. Same headlight design, full LED, that goes without saying. But as we drop down, you have your massive corner air intakes, and that's going to be to flow all the cool air for your heat exchangers, which you could clearly see from behind that grille. Carbon ceramic works nicely. This does have a little bit of a trick-or-treat, happy Halloween vibe to it, or maybe a nice fall Thanksgiving flavor to it because of the orange with the black, but I do like the carbon flash metallic. On the ZR1, you're gonna get the same body, same 3 inches of width, but there will be some distinct differences that I'll talk about in a second. I like on the lower lip, this one has the carbon flash metallic, and then as we come across that Stealth Fighter front end, you got the cross flags. It goes all the way back to 1953. Fully functional in the center, especially these large. I mean, you could take a Big Mac and slide it into those inner vents, but it's all for brake cooling, aerodynamics, and bringing cooling to the heat exchangers. Now, what's fascinating is when you go ZR1, the big difference is going to be this part up here. So you're still going to have the same shape. What's different is no more frunk. On a Z06, you still have a frunk. So you still have usable space, a couple luggage bags you could put in there, a couple duffel bags. On the ZR1, you're gonna have a massive, extra large radiator and you're gonna have that opening in the center, which will help drag that hot air out. So ZR1 will have more of a distinct aggressive look from the front area compared to a Z06, an E-Ray, or a Stingray. And that's interesting because remember, going back to the C4 ZR1, that's where Chevrolet made the biggest mistake. And as you can hear, the F-16s are flying from MacDill right now. They're practicing right now, which is kind of cool to see the F-16s in the air and the Raptors. But anyways, with that distinct look, that's where they went wrong with the C4 ZR1. The C4 ZR1, to the untrained eye, looked very similar to your standard C4 Corvette. But let me know what you think about Amplify Orange and this sexy stealth fighter shape. I tend to like the front of C8 Corvettes a lot more than the rear. Now, as we rise up, you see those angular lines, and we're gonna go around the widened bodywork and see what we're working with wheel and tire setup. So on this 3LZ, you're gonna get these forged carbon flash metallic wheels, split spoke design. I love that burnt orange 6-piston Brembo caliper with the Corvette name, the Brembo name, and this one has the optional carbon ceramic brake rotors. So remember, ZR1's gonna have some standard carbon fiber bodywork. And then of course you could go with the carbon fiber ceramic, the carbon ceramic brake rotors as an option. Same thing on the Z06, it's an option. The only C8 Corvette where it's not an option is the E-Ray. But I love the 2-piece rotor. Of course, we have magnetic ride suspension, all 4 corners. And these tires are the good stuff. This is Pilot Sport 4S tires. Up front, it's a 20-inch wheel, 275 on the width, 30 series sidewall. I'm digging the burnt orange with the Amplify Orange. Now coming down the side, carbon flash metallic on your mirror caps. You do have Amplify Orange around the windshield frame, and then you're getting carbon flash metallic along the lower side skirt extension. That's another part that will be carbon fiber on a ZR1. So not only are you getting a unique hood and that extra large radiator, you're getting a lot more carbon fiber standard on the ZR1. Now, one of my favorite parts of the side of the Z06 is how they enlarge your side air vents, the air intake vents, with your carbon flash metallic. We got our Z06 badge. The one zunk I have styling-wise is this right here. I hate the way they just put a piece of gloss black here. I'd rather have that body color, to be honest with you. And then with that folding hardtop, that's a F-22 Raptor right now flying overhead. What's awesome is that with the top down, it gives you, and I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing around, gives you that wonderful angled look from the back. And Steven's gonna zoom in on that glass right there. You'll see it says Corvette 70th. Remember, this is the 70th anniversary of the Corvette. This isn't a 70th anniversary edition, but it's the 70th anniversary because 1953, this is a 2023, and every Corvette in 2023 gets that 70th thing in the glass, gives it a nice little extra special touch. Another way to tell that you're looking at a ZR1 is that especially on the convertible, there's gonna be a second vent on top here to bring more cool air, because remember, we have a twin turbocharged V8. The same V8, just with 2 turbochargers. Now at the rear of the business here, what do we got going on? You're gonna have a 21-inch wheel, forged aluminum. Look at the carbon ceramic brake rotors. I mean, they're bigger than a freaking Papa John's pizza that you stuffed in your mouth for lunch earlier today. Tires are freaking steamrollers. 345 on the width. 345 on the width. And then you're looking at a rubber band slim 25 on the sidewall. So 345 by 25. And then swing around back, of course, we have electronic limited slip diff. When you go with your standard Z06, you're gonna get this carbon flash metallic rear spoiler. You got the cross flags. Like I said, this is a part of history that goes back to 1953. And I like the way they do the venting. One of the sad things is that you got the venting, but on a convertible, you can't see the engine. And that breaks my freaking heart, because that 5.5 liter cross plane crank engine is just unbelievable. And then working our way down to ground level, I like on the Z06 how you have the skinnier but wider rear functional vents, all clear on the taillights. and then working our way down, more carbon flash metallic, more wire mesh finish, and then Z06, like the ZR1, is gonna have your quad tip exhaust in the back. Nice to see the optional gloss black tips, and of course it is a GM Performance Active exhaust, so you can keep it quiet and try to make your neighbors happy, or you can say, you know what, the hell with it. It's my right to piss people off, and you can make it louder. But why don't we go ahead, I'm gonna try to pop this rear hatch area and see if we could even get a peek of that engine underneath it. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, we got that top kind of open and in position. Now, what's great about this top, remember, it only weighs 70 pounds more than a C8 Coupe. That's unbelievable. And this C8 Corvette generation is the first year to ever have a folding hardtop. But like I was telling you, the challenge is no way to see the engine. Now, you can get an optional, you can get it from your GM parts department, clear plexiglass cover, and for 2024 model year moving forward, you'll be able to get that as an option to be able to see that engine. But what do we have? It's a 5.5 liter naturally aspirated V8. It's mated to an 8-speed Tremec transmission. It's a DCT transmission. Now, the interesting thing is, remember, when it comes to this 2023 Z06 or any 8th generation Z06, it's a little bit different of a power delivery. Actually, it's a lot different. You don't have the familiar torque down low like you do on the LT2 push rod equipped V8 that's found in the Stingray. So what do we got? Out of that 5.5 liters of naturally aspirated goodness, you're looking at 670 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. See how the torque is a little different? 0 to 60 though, 2.5 seconds. Quarter mile goes by at 10.5 seconds at 131 miles an hour. So if you owe Dom Toretto a 10-second car, you could give him this one after you buy it, of course, from Crown Euro Cars. Top speed, here's where it gets crazy, 190 miles an hour. MPGs, 12 in the city, 19 on the highway. And remember, that V8 revs to over 8,000 to 8,600 RPM. Now, if you're comparing this to a ZR1, same engine, twin turbos are added, and what you're looking at is over 1,000 horsepower. Top speed, 233 miles per hour. 0 to 60 in about 2 seconds. So you are getting a substantial kick in the pants worth of performance over the Z06. But remember, we don't know the official MSRP yet, but many people are speculating at least $200,000 starting price. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this 5.5 liter flat plane crankshaft V8 and hear it scream. All right, guys, we're inside this creamsicle edition Z06 Corvette C8 convertible. No, it's not really a creamsicle edition. Don't zonk me for that. I just think it's kind of funny how it's like a white interior and orange exterior, like a creamsicle. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm debating getting on the list at my local dealership for a ZR1, but I'm just not sure because I know it's going to be pricey. I know Z06s aren't cheap, but I know the prices on them have calmed down a lot. How much is the asking price for this Z06? I understand your pain, and I understand how we just don't know what that final price will be for the ZR1. And you know and I know that Dealers are going to mark up the hell out of them, but I'm going to suspect they're going to probably be around $200,000. This one has an asking price, the Z06 has an asking price of $139,000. But let's see what you get when you go 3LZ. This is the top trim to the door panels. I love the two-tone. Love the two-tone. You got your black leather, white contrast stitching, and then you have that off-white, very great looking color, makes it pop nicely. We have the Bose sound system with our aluminum speaker grill cover, and then you do have a door pocket large enough for 2 all beef Costco hot dogs, still $1.50. Now going from the door panel to the dash, the leather, the stitching, the two-tone looks great. This is really the big sore point still in a C8 is the big bridge. But remember, it's like this because on an E-Ray, it's all about getting the battery pack in there. You have your 8-inch infotainment system. That's going to be the same whether you go Z06 or ZR1. You got your transmission selection right here, push-pull button system, 8-speed DCT. That's going to be the same. Get your mode selector switch. This one does have front axle lift. And then your array of heated seats, ventilated seats, and dual climate control. Open up this little guy. You have some felt lining. This is where you're probably going to put your Rolex and your Omega, and they won't get scratched because of the felt lining. USB-C, USB-A, and an aux jack. Of course, we have 2 cup holders with your Corvette key fob. Yes, it has remote start, so you can let that engine sing and you can scare the hell out of people in parking lots. And then the seats, the two-tone, the Corvette cross flags, the carbon fiber, the bolstering, full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver, and we do have the bright orange seat belts worth an extra 5 horsepower. And the lighter, this is kind of dangerous, this light texture on the Alcantara of the roof in here. I don't know if I would go, because you can see it's a little dirty where the sun visor is. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I got a carbon fiber steering wheel I want to show you. Coming over. All right, guys, come on in. How you been? Village Inn. Love the aluminum sill plate, the Z06 badge, and then a pedal box right out of a C8R race car. Aluminum dead pedal, brake, and throttle. Seat controls are easy to get to, and these seats are freaking spectacular. Chevrolet has come a long way with their Corvette interiors. Plenty of headroom even with the top up. And then of course, we have that flat top, flat bottom. They call this the D steering wheel. D-shaped with the leather, stitching, the cross flags. You do have carbon fiber surfboards as paddles on the back to go up and down that 8-speed dual clutch. And it is a power tilting telescoping wheel. And then of course, we got that beautiful digital gauge cluster. Look at that tach right there in the center. Oh, I'm getting excited. And there's a head-up display. But why don't we go ahead? I'm not showing you the frunk. There is room there. I'm not even showing you the trunk. You could put a set of golf clubs there. How stupid is that somebody actually cares about that? Go and play golf in your Z06. What I'm gonna go do, and I want you to come with me, if you're ready, I'm ready, let's go on throttle in this Z06 Corvette. All right, guys, there's only one way to do this Z06 on throttle drive, and that's with the top down. I'm even gonna leave the side glass down because I'm very curious what the wind noise and the buffeting is gonna be like, and I really want you to hear, and I wanna hear that flat plane crankshaft V8 just scream to 8,600 RPM. So what we're gonna do is I wanna show you launch control. Of course, I have it in Z mode. Z, not for Zorro, from Zora. Zora Arcus Duntov, the father of the Corvette. It's real simple. Left foot on the brake, right foot on throttle. On throttle, here we go! Yeah! Woo! Love the sound of that. About such a amount of stimuli that's going on, from what you hear to what you're experiencing through touch, through smell, through sight. This really is an all-you-can-eat buffet for your senses. It really, really is. That Tremec 8-speed dual clutch, very fast. Second gear, you ready? 5,000 RPM. On throttle, here we go. Look at that. Those carbon ceramic brake rotors shedding speed as fast as an American bulldog sheds fur. And then the pops. Sounds like a shotgun out back. Sounds like somebody's firing a 12 gauge out the back of this Z06. Just glorious. Absolutely glorious. The fit, the finish, you're wrapped in the leather, you're wrapped in some carbon fiber. But like I said, you're not getting that torque down low. It does not really come in until about 4,500 RPM, and when it does, it comes on full tilt boogie. The ZR1 will change that because the ZR1 will be twin turbocharged. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Launch control, on throttle, here we go. On the brakes. So balanced. I feel like a brain surgeon performing surgery, and it's like you're so precise with the steering wheel, the feedback, the inputs, and it just makes it all come together in such an amazing way. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I just wish it had a manual option. It just would be so nice. That's what I'm waiting for, is for them to come out with a manual C8. But of course, I'm not gonna outshift the performance of this Tremec. I just would like it to just be a little bit more of that engagement that you could only get with that extra pedal, that third pedal, the clutch pedal. But the sound, the way it reverberates off the trees. Woo! On throttle! The right color towel. Whew. This thing is a freaking beast. It is a C8 on steroids. And the crazy thing is, we all know the ZR1 is gonna push those performance parameters, but remember, it does come at a price. It's gonna come at a price. Is it worth the price? We're gonna have to wait and see. But let me know in the comment section what you're thinking about. I know what I'm thinking about right now. This is what I'm thinking about. On throttle! Woo, baby. Woo, baby. What up? We gotta get back to Crown Euro cars because I'm gonna get myself in trouble out here. I'll see you in a split second. Wow, wow, wow. That's all I could say at the end of this particular day. This Z06, freaking mind-blowing. But we gotta thank Michael and the rest of the crew at Crown Euro Cars getting us this Z06 to bring to you, but let me know what you think. Are you gonna go Z06? Are you happy, especially at that price point? Or are you gonna break the bank and go for ZR1? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. Gotta give out to Flood. Who's that? Stephen Flood. Stephen Flood Photography. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for busting your butt. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.